red bottoms, how I'm dripping. All white Buffy's, how I'm saucy.
LapDiazLondon.com.
All white Buffy's, how I'm saucy.
Greetings, 师傅. 师傅, what is your take on women out of a relationship that are approaching the wall?
Yeah, these things are funny. I see that as a loaded question again. You know, this is the second one you hit me with today, so it's kind of I'll keep it short and sweet if I can, and yeah, we'll move on from that because people take these things so seriously, you know, and it is because it's you know, it's reality. So I just put it like this. You know, men and women have different thresholds of, you know, their biological clock when it comes to like reproduction. So, regardless of like misconceptions and misinformation, there's a truth behind it. So, you know, it's more beneficial and more wise women to make sure they realize when they're hitting that 30 threshold and stuff, they need to start acting up and being a bit more serious, you know? They need to cash their chips in early, basically. Because the chips that they hold right now, they will eventually plummet. It will eventually dissipate, you know? So they need to cash them in early. Why not? You know, you don't need to extend your hoe phase. You don't need to kind of get into a pattern where you're just you know, deluded in the reality of the war, the so-called war. You know, I don't call it the war. Do you know what I call it? I call it the Cameron Diaz.
When did you stop caring, David? Caring about what? About the consequences of the promises that you've made.
Promises?
Yeah, the promises.
I thought... Get the fuck, what are you talking about?
Do you understand how hard it is to pretend to be your buddy? David, I love you. I fucking love you. I fucking love you! Fuck!
Hey, whoa! Don't do this.
You fucked me 4 times the other night, David. You've been inside me.
Do it.
I swallowed your cum. That means something.
Slow down.
4 times. It means something, David. 4 times.
Stop the car.
It's 24 hours a day. I live with this aching possibility that you might call me to do something.
Let's go to your house and we'll talk this out. I want to see what you do. Just slow down. Will you stop the car, Julie? Will you
Stop the car! You know that when you sleep with someone, your body makes a promise whether you do or not. Tell me something, David. I mean, do you believe in God?
What are you doing? Hey, I love you. I love you.
Cameron Diaz. I call it the Cameron Diaz, man. When you start hitting the Cameron Diaz, you better cash in your fucking chips. You know, you're gonna have to compete with the youngers. You know, you're not gonna have the oomph. Your life situation, like your social life, may not have as many options as when you were younger. You know, even like as a grown man, if I'm in pursuit of like a partner, it's limited, way limited compared to when I was younger. My glory days was when, you know, I was going clubbing all the time and all this stuff. Now I don't see people that often, you know, and it's like when you become quite like, I wouldn't say isolated, but you're just like mundane. You have to, it feels like you have to make this extra effort to go to these social events in order to, you know, be around potential partners and stuff. It's just like you could get mundane and then it just becomes hard. It becomes like work now. It becomes like an effort, like, you know, so imagine as a man, you feel like that. Imagine a woman, you know, it's like they got to get dolled up and then go out and, you know, they're holding some chips, but there's chips are like falling away. Like the beauty's starting to go away. They're getting a bit overweight, you know, like they're also in environments where the amount of men that they would like see as a great suitor is diminishing. There's less and less of them every time they go out or go to events and stuff. It just gets harder and harder. And then by the time they look around, they got 1 or no chips left, you know? And then that's it, cat lady. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, be I think what does Kevin Samuel say? The danger zone or whatever. Be very wary of the danger zone. Be wary of it. I call it the Cameron Diaz, you know, because you got to make choices. It's like, do you want It's like I said in that one where I did with the bad boy switch, where the women, they have their switch switched on for the bad boy or the good boy. You got to be very conscious of that and realize, like, when you're wasting your time with the bad boys, and then when you need to switch over to the good boys and so on, because they still have a few chips left as they're approaching 30. So they're like, oh, I could still get the perfect bad boy with all the money, with all the security and all this stuff. And he's going to be devoted to me. And it's like, unless you're like a super 10 or, around you're like gold, is like your chances of that are slim. And it's just like, you're losing chips every day. Don't hit the wall. Just don't be deluded if you're a woman. Don't be like in your own thoughts and listening to what a lot of other women say, like, oh, it's fine. You look at these celebrities that are 40 and they're in great shape and still finding like the love of their lives and things like this. You should have hope. Like, you don't worry. You'll find the man of your dreams. Don't listen to that. It's like, it's that whole Kool-Aid thing, it's like, it's just sweet talk. It's like, don't listen to that. It's very serious, man. You've got a handful of chips and you're competing with other women that just got like loads and loads of chips. And every day you're losing chips. You need to cash in before, you either run out of chips or the risk is just like ridiculously high. That Cameron Diaz syndrome. That's what I'm going to coin it. Cameron Diaz syndrome, because in Vanilla Sky, she's still chasing the guy that's a bit of a player. He's like the top 1%. And she's like, oh, he is going to settle with me. But he's like, well, I just fuck you. Like, it ain't that serious. Do you know what I mean? And then she ends up just going crazy, like, and then what does she do? Crash into the wall. How symbolic is that? She hits the wall, and unfortunately she takes the guy with him. Do you know what I mean? That's the fucked up bit. But when you get to that stage, where the sort of beauty and everything is starting to dissipate, and the thing is, it could happen so quick, it could change like so fast. They're in a small work environment where there's only like 2 men, and those 2 men are already married. And then she only has the weekend to really socialize, and what options does she have? She has a nightclub, a bar, the gym, and like these other things. Like, she has to really widen her net in order to get this guy. Like the average woman should have to widen her net to get this guy. And if she's just looking at the top 1%, like, 6'3", 250K a year, single, no children, and all this, like, when they start doing all that, it's like, they're not really living in reality, and their chips, they're taking too much risk because they have limited amount of chips. So that you need to kind of face reality, not live on Mount Stupid, as that theory is. I don't know what it's called. We'll put it here. But don't live on Mount Stupid. Like, really face reality. Face the mirror, not the wall. Don't hit the wall. Hit the fucking mirror first, and really take a hard look at yourself. And I don't just mean in terms of beauty either. Even though it's kind of, the wall is kind of based around that. It's like, really take a look at what your expectations are in a partner and stuff like that. And you may need to lower some of your standards. Yeah, it's tough. It's hard, but you need to do it. Don't be deluded. You need to knuckle down and be like, okay, what's my best options? How can I improve them? It's like me, for example, if I'm attracted to a certain type of woman or something, let's just say I'm attracted to Latin women, for example. I know with my free time now, if I'm in pursuit of a partner, then my ass better be going to functions that are like salsa dancing or bachata events, or maybe travel to countries, like where there's an abundance of it. So it increases my probability of finding a suitable partner. Now, for the women that's heading towards the wall, you need to do that too. You need to make sure that you're at your very best, and you're, in events where you actually enjoy them yourself, so that you'll meet a partner that's kind of already in that bandwidth for things that you enjoy. Like you have some sort of common bond or something, you know? Or you have the dating apps, you always have those as well. But in general, you know, you gotta really consider getting those chips cashed in before there's no turning back and you live with a bunch of cats.
师傅, do men have something similar? Perhaps a wall for men.
Just like how women have to, you know, they start approaching the wall, you know, or the danger zone. Men have to be careful too, because it's very easy for us to kind of get isolated in our own bubble. And a lot of men, because we live in such a sort of feminized society as well, it's very easy for us to have this Disney dream too, where we think we're going to find the perfect woman or the girl of our dreams or the woman of our dreams and stuff. Men have that sort of, you know, Disney, you know, perfect love story ending as well. And it's almost like with modern man that is hardworking every day, Monday to Saturday or Sunday through to Sunday, it's tough to get yourself in environments where there is abundance of, you know, women that are great suitors, you know, like they're suitable for you as a partner. Like people that went to university, you know, they've been around abundance of women, then they get older, they go into some big office firm with loads of women, and then they do nightlife and stuff. But as a man gets older, for generalistically speaking, because there are men that are just wild and take drugs and go out all the time, and other guys that are still in big firms where there's still an abundance of fresh new women joining every year, like interns and stuff. But the average guy, like, you know, like he's like a plumber and he works with men and other men. And then, you know, he tries to go to the gym, and on the weekend he goes to the local pub or something. Like, he's only going to see women when he's at the pub, when he's at the gym, and in between lunchtime when he goes to the store to get some lunch or something. Like, it's very limited time frame where he could find a potential life partner, right? So it's like, it's almost like a game of probability, and how do you increase your odds when you're living in such a Groundhog Day, you know? Because it's like that saying, if you know, you read the book twice and you expect a different ending. That's what happens to men as we get older. So women, you know, they go through that whole hit in the wall sort of thing, and they don't wise up and cast their chips in early. But with guys, it's like we're reading the book again and again, and we're expecting a different result, because we're so feminized that we have this sort of like ideal, like, oh no, it's okay, we'll meet the girl of our dreams. It's like, no, we can't be thinking like that. You know, we're men. We need to like actively take control. We need to take the bull by the horns in this situation. It's like, if we're not, if our social life sucks and we're not going out, and, you know, we're not in environments where there's a big pool of women, or there's like a, you know, an abundance of women that we are attracted to, then how are we going to get the life partner? By just working Monday to Saturday, you know, and going to the pub on the weekend. Do you understand what I'm saying? You need to now figure out how you're going to put yourself in environments that you enjoy, where you can meet hopefully a like-minded partner, you know, or that's the kind of way I would do it. I'll do something that I'll go to places that I love, where I know there's like a social, you know, gathering, and there'll be more than, you know, a handful of single women there that are the caliber that I admire or I'm attracted to. And then at the same time, it's something I kind of enjoy doing. So it doesn't feel as such as hard work. Like I'm making this extra effort to go and look for a partner. It's something I would do anyway. I'll enjoy doing anyway. And then as I'm there, I might meet someone that has sort of at least some sort of common bond. I don't want to date myself. So I don't want someone that has all these common things with me, all these things in common with me. But at least if there's a slight common bond, then that's beneficial too. And like I always say, I've said in a few videos, you know, like, if I'm into Latin women at the moment, then I'm going to make sure I take my ass to, you know, a Latin nightclub or a Latin dance class or, you know, a bachata dance class, or say in London, then I'll go to, if I'm into Latin women, I might go to Elephant Castle every week or something and just go there and have a meal and stuff like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or get some lunch. So I walk around there for an hour or something like that. Or, you know, I just increase my chances by any means. Like you just use your logical thinking and think, how can I increase my chances of meeting a partner that I would be attracted to? You know, that might, for some people, it might be like, you're into Asian women. Some of these guys, they fly out to Asia, get to know the culture more and stuff like that. And, you know, learn the language or become part of language groups where there's other people. And, you know, like I'm waffling a bit, but there's different ways that you can increase your odds of meeting someone that you would be attracted to. And you have to do it. You have to get off your ass and do it. And make sure you level up as well to make sure that you're your best representation of yourself when you're in these situations or these social events.
All red bottoms, how I'm dripping. All white Buffy's, how I'm saucing.
LapDiazLondon.com.
All white Buffy's, how I'm saucing.